All right, so you think you know AI just because you've used Siri or had a chat with ChatGPT. Well, get ready, because we're about to talk about the next big leap. Today, we're diving deep into AI agents, and this is a whole different ballgame. We're talking about technology that doesn't just follow your commands, it actively gets stuff done all on its own. It's the move from a simple assistant to a truly proactive partner.
You know, there's a perfect way to think about this. Picture a big movie star, right? They've got a personal assistant. That's the person who handles all the direct requests, booking flights, grabbing the dry cleaning. But they also have a Hollywood agent. And that agent, they're out there day and night, proactively hunting for the next big role, negotiating deals, building that star's career, sometimes in ways the star wouldn't even think to ask for. That's the difference we're talking about.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What is the fundamental difference that's driving this whole shift in AI?
And there you have it. This really nails the core idea. Think about it. An AI assistant is reactive. You tell it what to do, and it does it. Simple. But an AI agent, it's proactive. You give it a goal, a destination, and it figures out how to get there all by itself. One is waiting for you, the other is already working for you.
I mean, just think about how you use something like ChatGPT. You're basically in this constant back and forth, right? You prompt, it responds. You ask another question, it gives another answer. It's incredibly powerful, for sure, but it's never going to just decide on its own to whip up a spreadsheet for you unless you tell it step by step exactly what to do. There's just no long-term initiative there.
So, what's the secret sauce? What gives an agent its agency? I mean, we're not talking about a simple software update here. This is a massive, fundamental shift in how these things are built, and it's all thanks to some amazing breakthroughs in how AI can reason and plan. So let's look at the key ingredients that make this all possible. First up, and this is probably the biggest deal, autonomy. This means you can give an agent a really complex goal. Something like, hey, plan a full marketing campaign for a new product launch. And it just goes. It starts breaking that down into smaller tasks, doing market research, creating content, figuring out ad placements, all on its own. You don't have to hold its hand through every single step.
Okay, next up is another absolute game changer, persistent memory. You know how most assistants kind of forget everything once the conversation is over? Well, an agent doesn't. It can actually remember past actions, past conversations, and what happened because of them. So it learns. It learns from its mistakes and its successes, which means it gets smarter and better at its job over time. That is a huge, huge leap.
And finally, we've got proactive decision-making. And this is where an agent really breaks out of the box. It stops being just a chatbot and becomes a real actor in the digital world. It can look at a problem and decide for itself, okay, to get this done, I need to search the web for the latest data. Then I need to pull some numbers from the sales database, and then I'll use this tool to schedule a social media post. It's not just talking, it's doing. All right, so we've covered the what. We know what an agent is. Now let's peel back the layers and look at the how. How does an agent actually think? It all comes down to a core loop that drives everything it does. So it all works in this continuous cycle. First, it perceives. It's taking in information, gathering data from its environment, whether that's from sensors or online tools or from you. Then it reasons. This is the thinking part, where it processes all that info and plans out what to do next. After that, it acts. It actually executes that plan, using whatever tools it has available. And then, and this is so important, it learns. It looks at what happened, what worked and what didn't, and uses that feedback to do better next time. So it's this constant loop. Perceive, reason, act, learn. That's the engine of autonomy. Now, it's really important to get this. The word agent is a pretty broad term. We're not talking about a world where every AI is some super intelligent mastermind. Not at all. They really exist on a whole spectrum, from the super simple to the incredibly complex. And this chart really lays it out perfectly. Down at the bottom, you have your simple reflex agents. Think of a thermostat. It gets too cold, it turns on the heat. That's it. A step up from that, you've got model-based agents, like your robot vacuum that actually remembers the layout of your house so it doesn't keep bumping into the same chair. Then you get goal-based agents, like a GPS. It knows your goal, get to the store, and it plans the best route. And way up at the top, you have the learning agents. These are the ones that actually adapt and get better over time. Kind of like the recommendation engine that figures out exactly what shows you want to watch next.
Okay, this is all really cool theory, right? But what does it actually mean for the real world? Where does the rubber meet the road? Let's dive into the practical side of things and see why this jump from assistant to agent is such a massive deal for some huge industries.
I mean, look at this. This table just makes the difference so stark. Take healthcare. An assistant, it can book an appointment for you. An agent, it could be triaging patients in a busy ER using real-time data. How about finance? An assistant might send you a fraud alert after the fact. But an agent will proactively monitor everything, see a threat coming, and adjust security protocols to stop the fraud before it even happens. See the pattern? We're moving from automating simple little tasks to automating entire complex workflows.
And believe it or not, it gets even more advanced than that. We're starting to see multi-agent systems where you have entire teams of specialized AIs working together. Just imagine this. One agent is the researcher, scouring the web for information. Another is the writer, drafting up a report. And a third agent is the fact-checker, making sure everything is accurate. All of them collaborating to get a complex project done. Wild, right?
Okay, but let's take a breath, because with all this incredible power comes a whole lot of responsibility and, yeah, some pretty big risks. We have to remember we are in the very early days of this stuff, so it's absolutely crucial that we understand the limitations and start building in the right guardrails.
And we need to be really clear-eyed about what those challenges are. For one, these systems can be brittle. A tiny change in how you ask for something can make the whole thing fall apart. They can also get stuck in these crazy infinite loops, just trying the same failed action again and again and again. And maybe scariest of all, if you don't define a goal perfectly, you can get some really bad unintended consequences. That's why, for now, human oversight isn't just a nice to have. It is 100% essential for keeping things safe and on track.
And all of this brings us to the final, really big question we have to ask ourselves. As this technology gets better and better, and it will, how is our relationship with it going to change? Are we just building smarter tools or more capable assistants? Or are we on the cusp of creating our very first true digital colleagues? That's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for watching.